Okay, folks, so I want to share this little bit of information here from the Government Accountability Office, where they did a weapons systems annual assessment on the different branches of the military. And I just think it's kind of curious. I'm going to read a little bit of this here that talks about what the Government Accountability Office is, but then I want to go into a couple of these different program assessments. More specifically the Space Force, because they've been having some interesting delays on stuff that they've promised. But anyway, the Government Accountability Office report to congressional committees. Yeah. Let's see. Why GAO did this study. And you can see here at the very top it says Weapons Systems Annual Assessment, June 2023. Programs are not consistently implementing practices that can help accelerate acquisitions. So they need to be able to get their acquisitions, to get these things from prototype into development and then testing and all that stuff much faster. You know, they really want to amp it up, right? Why GAO did this study. In 2020, in an effort to deliver more timely and effective solutions to the warfighter, DoD revamped its department-wide acquisition policies. These policy changes responded to the statutory provisions and long-standing concerns from some members of Congress that the defense acquisition process was overly bureaucratic and too slow. Yeah, it just had too much oversight, huh? As part of these changes, DoD established the Adaptive Acquisition Framework, which has a variety of pathways for acquisition programs. This framework includes the Major Capability Acquisition Pathway to acquire and modernize DoD programs that provide enduring capability, including major defense acquisition programs, and the Middle Tier of Acquisition Pathway for rapid prototyping and rapid fielding. This report, GAO's 21st Annual Assessment, responds to a statutory provision for GAO to review selected DoD acquisition programs and efforts. What GAO found? Let's just see, what did the GAO find? The Department of Defense, or DoD, continues to face challenges quickly developing innovative new weapons. These challenges persist even with recent reforms to its acquisition process intended to help deliver systems to the warfighter in a timelier manner. Yeah, by all means, we gotta feed that war machine faster, right? Major defense acquisition programs. From DoD's 2020 submission of reports on their major defense acquisition programs to 2022, the number of these programs declined. However, the portfolio's total cost increased. And the average planned cycle time to deliver operational capability shows new delays. DoD did not produce these reports in 2021 due to the lack of future year funding data in the fiscal year 2022 budget request. Interesting. You can see their little chart here. Major defense acquisition programs are taking longer to deliver capabilities. Number of programs down 11%. Portfolio cost up. Estimated average cycle time in years plus 7%. Over half of the 26 major defense acquisition programs GAO assessed that had yet to deliver operational capability reported new delays. Driving factors included supplier disruptions. I wonder why there would be supplier disruptions. Software development delays, and quality control deficiencies. Additionally, these programs continue to make investment decisions without sufficient knowledge, which can increase the risk of delays. Net costs for the 32 major defense acquisition programs that GAO assessed both this year and last year increased by $37 billion. Rising modernization costs, production inefficiencies, and supply chain challenges drove the majority of costs. Yeah, but greed had absolutely nothing to do with that, though, right? Middle Tier of Acquisition Programs, MTA. 2 MTA efforts transitioned to become major defense acquisition programs since GAO's last assessment and could begin delivering capabilities soon. However, there's always a however, huh? Other MTA efforts, schedule delays, and lack of progress in maturing technologies raise questions about MTA programs' overall ability to deliver capabilities more quickly. Yeah, because we gotta make sure that we get that war machine going even faster, right? Gotta keep up with all of the new war action going on. Of the 16 rapid prototyping efforts included in both GAO's current and prior assessments, 6 have delayed planned operational demonstrations by at least 12 months. The later that demonstrations occur during the MTA effort, the less time programs will have to address emerging issues. This delay heightens the chance that programs will transition with more technical risk. Yeah, with more technical risk, and also other risks too. There's a reason why some of these programs and some of the development of some of these things, it takes time and needs oversight, and why there's so much so-called bureaucratic tape on it. It's because some of these things can do horrific things, Software development approaches and cybersecurity practices. Programs reporting use of modern software development approaches increased over the past year from 43 of 59 programs to 45 of 58 programs. So, reporting the use of modern software development approaches increased, but programs reported limited implementation of the Defense Science Board's recommended practices to accelerate software development. So, the Defense Science Board made some recommendations to accelerate their software development, but apparently they did not really use it. Limited implementation. Yeah. So there's a little chart that shows the different programs, what percentage of them implemented the Defense Science Board's recommendations to accelerate their software development. It's kind of interesting, huh? Continuous iterative development. They implemented the Science Board's practices there heavily, huh? GAO also observed mixed progress in cybersecurity planning. All programs had or planned to have a cybersecurity strategy, but programs did not consistently report scheduling cybersecurity test events in time to inform key milestones. Interesting, huh? So they kind of blew their chance there, huh? Without timely cybersecurity testing, programs are at greater risk of delays if issues are discovered later in development. Key product development principles. GAO found that some, but not all, MTA and future programs used certain product development practices aligned with key product development principles employed by leading companies to deliver innovative capabilities quickly. Examples reported by programs included practices such as using 3D modeling and printing to help design and test products, and holding regular user testing events to obtain feedback. GAO has ongoing work to define associated metrics to help inform future assessments. Interesting. Modular Open Systems Approach. Most programs GAO reviewed reported using a modular open systems approach, but they did not consistently report planning to verify successful implementation of the approach before key points in the acquisition process, such as before beginning production. Really? You wouldn't do an assessment or anything right before beginning production? Wow. A modular open systems approach enables weapon programs to better respond to changing threats, in part by allowing them to more easily add, remove, and replace components over the system's life cycle. Yeah, I don't understand their little chart here. More than half of major defense acquisition programs using a modular open systems approach do not report plans to verify conformance before production. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. So they're like waiting to the last minute on some of these programs, huh? And the little chart's kind of interesting there, showing the gear. 12 programs planned testing before starting production. 5 programs planned testing after starting production. 8 programs did not specify test timing. Interesting, huh? Neither DoD systems engineering policy nor modular open systems approach guidance specifically addresses when programs should complete or document verification testing. Ensuring that any new guidance and updates to relevant policies address when programs should conduct verification testing and document planning can help DoD ensure its systems can incorporate innovative technologies over time to remain responsive to emerging threats. So testing, right? They got the practice, right? Yeah, interesting assessment there. Yeah, I'm going to a little bit with the Air Force here and show a little bit of what's going on with some of the things that the Air Force is got an exposition and information on some of these different programs. There's some pretty interesting ones. And I want to get into the Space Force really on this video, but I might get into more from this Air Force too, because there's some interesting information we talk about. Oh, there we go. Yeah. The KC-46A Tanker Modernization Program. So I want to go into some of that from the Air Force as well, probably in another video, but for right now I want to cover just a little bit with the Space Force and their program assessment here. And more specifically, the information about their GPS. And you can see this file here, the lead component is the Space Force. The image courtesy of Lockheed Martin. GPS-3 follow-on. This one, and then the military GPS user equipment implement 1. There's also some other information too that I want to share from this, because I got a couple of interesting SATCOM programs and their deep space advanced radar capability, weather system follow-on. This is something else that I want to read about. But to go back here real quick to this whole GPS thing, and now I'm going to back out of this just a little bit. There we go. So you can see more of the page. And you can see there's like this timeline here where they talk about the development of this GPS-3 follow-on. The Space Force's GPS-3F program is intended to build upon the efforts of the GPS-3 program to develop and field next-generation satellites to modernize and replenish the GPS satellite constellation. In addition to the capabilities built into the original GPS-3 design, GPS-3F is expected to provide new capabilities. These capabilities include a steerable, high-power military code M-code signal known as regional military protection to provide warfighters with greater jamming resistance in contested environments out in the warfield. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, and their total acquisition cost, this is the dollars in millions. I won't read too many of those numbers because it's a lot. We'll just say that. It does give a little bit of software development as of January 2023. Let's see, 0 to 20%. Software percentage of total program cost, percentage of progress to meet current requirements. Yeah, there's a couple of interesting stories talking about their delays. And let's see, I'll read a little bit of this here too, which is the description. GPS-3F program, technology maturity, design stability, and production readiness. As previously reported, the GPS-3F program demonstrated 2 critical technologies, a linearized traveling wave tube amplifier, LTWTA, and a digital waveform generator. Interesting. In a relevant environment. According to our leading practices, this maturity level is sufficient to begin satellite system development. Over the past 2 years, however, the program experienced delays in developing the LTWTA. The program selected the LTWTA due to the power requirements of the satellite's regional military production capability. The program also plans for these amplifiers to power other GPS signals. Interesting, huh? Technical and manufacturing challenges, such as a surface coating change, as well as the need for additional technical staff, drove LTWTA to delays. In April 2020, following the program's critical design review, the contractor projected early 2022 deliveries of 5 developmental LTWTAs for testing purposes. As of March 2023, 1 was delivered, while the remaining 4 are late to the program's stated need. Delivery projection shifted to May of 2023. During the same period, the program shifted planned delivery of 1 LTWTA intended for design qualification from September 2022 to April of 2024 and canceled a second qualification of LTWTA. So we can see on that previous page how much money is involved here. That's dollars and millions, folks. I'll let you take a look at the screen and you can see it, all right? Alright, plus 5%. They still need, their current estimate is they still need more. The unit cost. This is a number of millions, dollars in millions. Okay. 400, almost 500 million. Anyway, yeah. Interesting. And they're canceling these. They're not delivering. Okay. And I'm going to read another article here talking a little bit about that. To mitigate the effects of the late qualification LTWTA, the contractor built 2 additional developmental LTWAs, which were delivered in mid-2022, according to the Defense Contract Management Agency. In the summer of 2022, the contractor implemented a mitigation plan. Oh wait, let's look at who the contractor is. I wonder who the contractor is. Anybody want to guess who the contractor is? You already saw the image there, so you probably already know. Program Essentials, the prime contractor is Lockheed Martin. The plan includes schedule changes and the subcontracting of LTWTA manufacture for the 5th GPS 3F satellite onward. Additionally, the program experienced delivery delays of the Mission Data Unit, the MDU, the brain of the satellite's navigation mission. Beyond what we reported last year, interesting. Continued challenges building developmental units drove these delays. In 2022, the program faced delays due to an anomaly related to the frequency synthesizer. As of October of 2022, one of the developmental MDUs was delivered. A second had completed acceptance review, and a third was awaiting completion of its acceptance review. The remaining 3 were projected for delivery between January 2023 and June of 2023. According to the program, the contractor restructured the planned uses of some developmental MDUs to mitigate the delays. So he just used another MDU that was already for acquisition for a different program or something, right? Is that what I'm understanding? As we reported last year, the program plans to complete testing of a non-flight system-level integrated testbed in November of 2023. The program plans to include all key subsystems and components in the prototype-like testbed, but with less redundancy than a final configuration GPS 3F satellite. Program officials stated that Lockheed Martin took delivery of various testbed components and began assembly in September of 2022. The program expects the building of and demonstrations with this testbed to inform integration and testing of the first GPS 3F satellite, currently planned to begin in mid-2024. However, it's a lot of howevers and buts. Program officials expressed concern about delays to the testbed's developmental LTWTAs, 4 of which have yet to be delivered. The program office indicated that it adjusted the testbed assembly schedule to accommodate the expected late delivery of the LTWTAs. Interesting. Since the Air Force approved production for the program in July 2020, the Space Force exercised options to procure 8 additional satellites beyond the initial 2 under contract prior to the production design. The most recent exercise of options was in October of 2022 for the procurement of 3 satellites. Software and cybersecurity. A significant amount of software development remains for the GPS 3F program. The program estimated that, as of August 2022, it completed less than 25% of the software necessary to meet system requirements. Wow. The program plans to conduct qualification testing of the satellite software on a satellite simulator in mid-2023 to permit the software's integration and testing on flight hardware for the first GPS 3F satellite in summer of 2023. Meanwhile, Starlink satellites are out there just going all over the sky, right? That was kind of curious. My son back in Michigan captured some of the Starlink Star Train. So it's kind of curious that, Elon Musk and SpaceX and Starlink can do all that, but Space Force is having troubles. They're having some serious delays, folks. There's some other program issues. Launch and operation of GPS 3F satellites depends upon the delivery of Next Generation Operational Control System, OCX, Block 3F, which formally started development in May of 2022. The Defense Contract Management Agency reported that the OCX Block 3F program experienced cost increases and schedule changes due to the diversion of personnel and resources to the OCX Block 1-2 program, which we assess separately in this report. Persistence of these diversions to Block 1-2 could affect the timeliness of the OCX Block 3F delivery, with potential corresponding effects to the GPS 3F program. And when they're talking about the OCX Block program, they're talking about like the Command and Control Center. That's in here too. I can show you that really quick. Yeah. You can see there's like their command center, right? The Next Generation Operational Control System, or OCX. So that's what they were talking about there when they were talking about other program issues that has to do with their operating, their little stage, Yeah. Program Office comments. We provided a draft of this assessment to the Program Office for review and comment. The Program Office provided technical comments, which we incorporated where appropriate. According to the Program Office, it is encountering technical delays, but is working closely with the contractor to address these issues. The program office stated that appropriate and stable funding would enable the program to mitigate current and future challenges. Yes, by all means, keep us all paid, because otherwise we're going to do some talking, right? And this is kind of curious too. This is the module thing here. You can see it talks about the lead component is the Space Force right up there at the top. Military GPS User Equipment, MGUE Increment 1. The Space Force's MGUE Increment 1 program develops GPS cards capable of receiving a modernized GPS signal known as military code, or M code. The receiver cards are expected to provide the military departments with more robust position, navigation, and timing capabilities for resistance to threats. The program is developing one card for aviation and maritime applications and one for ground applications. The military departments will make procurement decisions. So I think that's kind of curious. There's a lot of mapping going on that would suggest that they're documenting something to do with that, with GPS and navigation. In fact, I got some, let's see, I got some screenshots here from the other day showing some interesting mapping going on here. Let's see if I can get this to go the other way. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Yeah. You can see there on the phone. This one was going around at about 13,000, right directly over the valley. And it was about 11:14 the other day. And there you can see, just kept going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Just mapping it out here. So I wonder if this has got something to do with them creating the programming and everything for GPS positioning for the GPS user equipment and different pieces of equipment that they're developing. At least this one says the percentage of progress to meet current requirements is a little more than last one. But I mean, we're talking about dollars in millions. Okay, their first full estimate. Okay, and then look at their reported in 2022 was an increase, and then their current estimate, they need more, they want more, and they want more money. It's all about making sure that you're getting that money, right? But before I read a little bit more, I do want to read a little bit more into this, where it talks about some of the production readiness. But there's also this other interesting articles here that we're talking about some of the delays. And this was one here that was published in February of this year. So I think that's kind of curious. Yeah, okay, that looks good there. Okay. Yeah, this was from February of 23 of this year. U.S. Space Force crafting new schedule for GPS ground system. This comes from Washington. An already delayed U.S. Space Force effort to develop a modern, cyber-secure GPS ground system is facing new schedule setbacks. Oh, wait, let's look at... Hang on just a second. I wanted to look at who was doing that one. Oh, so this one is on Raytheon there. L3 Harris, Raytheon Technologies, and BAE Systems. So Raytheon and BAE Systems is having delays in developing this chip that they promised. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. The service is re-evaluating the delivery schedule for the next generation operational control segment, an upgraded version of the ground system used to operate GPS satellites. The program, dubbed OCX, was most recently planned for delivery this April, but a spokeswoman for Space Systems Command told C4ISRnet this week that timeline is now in question. Right? This is just, I mean, let's just invest more in the program though, right? The program's government contractor team is currently evaluating the schedule and anticipate having it approved later this spring, Alicia Gargis said in a February 13th email. The delay has caused cost overruns, she said, without providing details. I wonder what those cost overruns could be. Maybe like a whole bunch of greedy people that need more money so that they don't talk about what's really going on, right? A spokesman for Raytheon, the Arlington, Virginia-based company building OCX, attributed the schedule delay to technical issues that arose in recent testing. Neither the company nor the Space Force would elaborate on the nature of those issues. I wonder what those issues could have been. We are working closely with the U.S. Space Force to resolve these challenges and allow for additional training time to accommodate operator needs, company spokesman Joel Mayoral said February 13th. The Space Force operates 32 GPS satellites, which provide navigation services to military and civilian users. That fleet includes older satellites as well as upgraded spacecraft. The latest version, DPS-3, is more resistant to jamming attempts, provides more accurate location information, and is equipped to take advantage of encrypted military signals. The service has launched 6 GPS-3 satellites since 2018. Interesting. OCX will incrementally replace the ground system that operates those satellites today, which Lockheed Martin has sustained since 2013. Raytheon delivered the first OCX increment, Block 0, in 2017, which includes a hardware, software, and cybersecurity baseline and can support launches of new GPS satellites, but doesn't offer enough capability to control the on-orbit fleet. Blocks 2 and 3, which the company has not delivered, will bring that capability and will include more protections against cyber threats. To ensure it can operate newer GPS-3 satellites while it awaits OCX Blocks 1 and 2, the Space Force in 2016 awarded Lockheed a contract to develop a software upgrade that will allow the existing ground system to control those satellites. By all means, let's just keep investing in that old one, though, right? The upgrade, which Lockheed delivered in 2019, is not as advanced as OCX and is meant as a temporary fix until the new system is completed. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know that y'all are on top of that whole cybersecurity thing for us, huh? Lockheed, Raytheon, BAE Systems. Persistent delays. Schedule uncertainty has been a persistent challenge for OCX, which was supposed to be fielded in 2016. The program's 2012 cost estimate was $3.7 billion, has been revised several times, growing to $4.3 billion in 2015 and $6.2 billion in 2018. The first cost increase triggered what's known as a Nunn-McCurdy unit cost breach, requiring the Defense Department to develop a new cost and schedule baseline in 2016. Almost double. I mean, it began at $3.7 billion, and then in 2018 was $6.2 billion. And what is it now? I mean, come on. And they're giving us delays on some of these things. This is supposed to be about our cybersecurity, right? Space Systems Command is assessing various options to mitigate further schedule delays, according to Gargis, though she didn't expand on what actions the service is considering. As the program, what, are you going to pull out a whole bunch of computers from the basement? As the program crafts a new schedule, the Space Force's top acquisition official, Frank Calvelli, has labeled OCX one of the service's long-standing troubled programs and has made it a priority to deliver the system this year. Wow. Long-standing troubled programs. These albatrosses that have been dragging the department down for decades. We have got to get them out of the way, Calvelli said during a January 24 National Security Space Association conference in Chantilly, Virginia. This is the year we're going to get these programs delivered. I bet you say that every year, huh? Beyond OCX Blocks 1 and 2, Raytheon is already on contract for future GPS ground segment upgrades. They can't fulfill the current contracts, but let's go ahead and make some new future contracts, right? Dubbed Block 3F. The Space Force awarded the company a $228 million contract in 2021, and delivery is expected in 2025. Come on. I mean, Raytheon, Lockheed, come on. Really? That's how you conduct your business, right? Yeah, this is a more recent one here. This is from the 9th. Space Force sees further delays to troubled GPS ground segment. And again, coming down to the Washington there.